We're now going to take an imaginary trip together on this beautiful day. We're going to be walking in the woods. It's going to be a beautiful day, a warm day, and you're going to enjoy the walk. So come along with me. There'll be big trees all around us, and green leaves and a flowing breeze.
This is indeed a disturbing universe.
Hello, greetings, and welcome. Welcome to the Stereo 999 YouTube channel. I am your host, the artist formerly known as Stereo Steve. And how'd you like the clip show I did last week? Seems like you did. It got a few more. It got a few higher numbers than the one the week before that I actually put some effort into. But yeah, if you're new here, welcome. If you're a repeat viewer, good for you. Good for you. So yeah, I'm going to talk about some music. I'm going to talk about some records I got last week that I didn't want to just talk about right after I got them. I wanted to actually listen to them for a while so I could have something more interesting to say than, oh, I got this. I'm going to start with this one. All these, photos are like close-ups of guitar. And this is some drone music from Belgium. This is Fear Falls Burning with I'm the One of Those Monsters, Numb with Grace. And it's from 2006. And it's just one guy and a guitar and a bunch of effects. And he does some nice long hypnotic pieces on this record. And it's cool. It's a cool record to just kind of space out to, Who doesn't like droney guitar going through a lot of effects, right? Okay. This next one is from 2012. It's on the Hozak label. And just pretty much anything on this label is going to be good. They do a lot of garage rock and just, kind of punky, trashy kind of stuff. They're a pretty groovy label. And Radar Eyes was a song by the Gods, so I figure if they're named after a song by the Gods, it's going to be interesting. And it's good. It's garage rock. It's really tuneful. It's got this kind of distorted Spaceman 3 kind of vibe to some of it. But yeah, it's neat. It's like tuneful songs just awash in this distortion, and it's just a really nice one to listen to. This one I was kind of looking for a while. Superstars of the 70s, Volume 4, Silver Bullets, because I have a couple other things in this series, like the 4-record box set. But this is a 2-record compilation. Might have been a special TV offer, because that Mellow Gold that was on the same label was a special TV offer. So I'm gonna have to look. If I find a commercial, maybe you'll see some of it. But this is a solid compilation. It's got everything from the Jay Giles Band and Todd Rundgren and Deep Purple to Ohio Players, Doobie Brothers, Grateful Dead, Shy Lights. So just a good mixture of rock and soul from the early 70s on 2 records. Yeah, I mean, they pretty much did everything right. They even put the ABBA song at the beginning of the side so it's easier to skip. Yeah. Okay, here's one that kind of takes me back to radio and KUSF, because we had this This is on Birdman Records. This band is called The Time Flies. The album is called Fly. And this is some really trashy garage rock from the Bay Area. And I don't know if this is some kind of special edition or not, because all the pictures of this record I've seen online have this cover in black and white, and this has kind of got this orange tint to it. But yeah, just trashy, fun garage rock, you know, real punky edge. There's a track where they kind of diss on Radiohead. They says like, better not turn up that Radiohead, disco death rock should be dead, or this just really stupid. But ooh, they're popular and we're not. So got the lyrics and stuff. Yeah. Okay. This is kind of a weird one. This group is called Twilight Nuages, and it reminds me of the kind of weird stuff I used to download off of WFMU Beware of the Blog back in the mid-2000s. But there was a hype sticker that made some outrageous claims, and then I almost didn't get this, but then reading the fine print that this really was a reissue of some weird outsider record from like 1977, I'm like, okay, I will give this a try. But yeah, basically the story of this band was this. It was a school teacher who was kind of a frustrated songwriter, and he recruited some of his friends and some of his students to be backup singers and musicians, and formed a band so he could do a self-pressed record kind of songwriting demo. But it's very ambitious. The songs have like this piano and this kind of choirs of vocals and female singers coming up and horns, and it's all just recorded in a garage live to 2-track, and it totally sounds like it. There's a piano that's a little bit out of tune, but some of these songs are just really bombastic and ambitious, like the one called Life Goes On, Love Goes On. And there's a really catchy song called Lazy Sunday Afternoon that's like instant earworm. Lazy Sunday afternoon. You really have to hold it up to the light to do the vinyl justice. Same with the Flood record. So yeah, this is some interesting kind of outsider stuff. Okay. This is a 90s punk band from Florida called Stun Guns. And Florida, Stun Guns. Some of these titles, I'm like, it's punk. And it was affordable, and it was better than I expected. The songs totally rock, and they've got some kind of, the songs rock and they're catchy, and it's just heavy and snotty, and it's a pretty cool record on Shut Up Records out of Oakland. Okay, this one I'm gonna just kind of censor this. Oh, there she goes. Screw it. This is Ma by Rare Earth. And I remember seeing this record as a kid and thinking, that's kind of gross. I don't know how they're thinking of selling this. But this is a good Rare Earth album. If you know Rare Earth from the 70s, they were kind of white soul boys, not as poppy as Three Dog Night, but definitely funky, definitely had some top 40 hits. And them and their label, Rare Earth Records, was the rock branch of Motown. And the title track, Ma, takes up the entire side, the same way Get Ready took up the entire side. And long story short, this is one of the most Motown sounding Rare Earth records, because Norman Whitfield is all over it. All right, going back to Birdman Records label. This is the second album by Gree, which was Greg Astley's band in the 2000s. The second album by Gree, For the Season. I'm kind of partial to the first Gree record, the other one, because it's got some songs that really stuck with me. But a lot of people really love this one because it's a little more noisy and chaotic, you know, but it's still got the crazy organ and the hard driving, slightly 60s-ish garage punk kind of songs. But yeah, you know, I had this on CD, and when I'd listen to it, I think I'd probably like this record more if I had it on vinyl. And so far, yeah. Because of the way the songs run together, you know. All right. Now for something completely different. And this came highly recommended by a buddy of mine who's a super fan of Yes. This is John Anderson's solo album, Elias of Sun Hollow. And it's got a book with a long kind of Tolkien-esque story, which I haven't read yet. And then it's got some lyrics in it. But yeah, this is pretty trippy and experimental. Anderson plays almost all the instruments, and there's a lot of spacey synth parts, and there's a lot of kind of epic build-ups, and yeah, if you like Hobbit music, and yes, this is probably the best John Anderson solo record. All right. Okay, so this is the Suggies. Who are the Suggies? Well, I don't know who the Suggies are. This is just kind of a local San Francisco scenes related kind of thing. And it was cheap, and I picked it up. Really neat colored vinyl. Plays at 45. And it's, I don't know if I'd really call it punky. It's more on the power pop side. But yeah, it's just got that 2000s indie rock power pop kind of sound, and it's got an endless groove of this drony noise at the end of the second side. Well, here's a little piece of music history. You know, I was talking about CDs versus vinyl and capitalism and whatnot 2 or 3 videos ago. But there was kind of a little transitional period in between CDs and, you know, nowadays you get a record and it has a download card in it. And let me just say, don't snooze on the download cards, because this record that I talked about earlier, Twilight Nuages, this is the 3rd time that there were extra songs in the download that were not on the record. This is like the third time that's happened. And, you know, if you just toss out the download card, you'd never know. So don't snooze on the download card. But what I was getting back to here with this Suggies record is that there was a brief time where instead of download cards, the record would also include a CD copy of the record. So that's what I was talking about. That's what I was talking about. I don't know if this band was actually from the Bay Area or not, but this record was recorded in Oakland. The album is called Oak, and the band is called Flood. And personally, I think that was kind of a mistake because there are a lot of different artists called Flood. So this was not easy to Google. You know, there's that producer Flood. But anyway, this is a band called Flood. The album is called Oak. It's on Volcom Records, which I thought they just made shirts and pants. I didn't know they made records. But I was guessing by the titles, you know, I was guessing with the song called Baphomet Sermon that this was going to be kind of metal. And it is. It's some droney, sludgy stoner metal. If you like Sleep and Electric Wizard and stuff like that, you'll like this record. You know. So yeah, this turned out to be pretty cool. kind of shit. So yeah, Flood. All right, let's see. Okay, I got two more here. All right. This one kind of surprised me. The artist is Food Pyramid, and I've heard their work on the Debacle label that puts out CDRs of kind of droney space music, and I was kind of expecting droney space music for this record, but no. You can look at these grooves, you can kind of see this is actually some thumping techno music. And it's good thumping techno music. I used to rock the thumping techno music when I DJ'd at bars. And this is a good one. It's got some nice textures and it's got some melodies besides the beats, and yeah. This is a nice one. It's a good one to kind of trip out to. This was a band that I saw in 1998 at the Terrastock 2 3-day music festival. Some folky. This goes hand in hand with the John Anderson. This is some folky hobbity hippies that go by the name of Stone Breath. The Shepherdess and the Bone White Bird by Stone Breath. And it's a promotional copy. And if you forgot that it's a promotional copy, we rubber stamped everywhere that we could, twice on the side, that it's a promotional copy. And yeah, man, the little children of Stonehenge are dancing to this one.
Oh no, you can't leave yet. You gotta have a nice cup of tea with me.
Drink that bloody coffee, you're wasting time. You should be talking about no bloody records. If you don't drink your coffee, you can't have any pudding.
Now, how can I open this? There must be some way to get into it.
Hey, Randy.
Oh, you frightened me. Now look what you've done.
Let me have it.
No, give it to me. I found it first.
All right, I guess we're recording now. So yeah, another day of trying to maintain a bubble of tranquility in an increasingly chaotic universe. I don't know. What would others think if they watched my adventures and perceptions on a screen? Would they think that I blew it because I'm not doing enough? You know, seems like the rest of the world takes a lot of this shit for granted.
We're now going to
They don't act like we humans are more than just machines. You know, it's all very mechanical perspectives that they view the world. But what can you do? You know, you can take everything for granted and just always wanting more, or you can treasure the glimpses of awesomeness.
feel the truth.
You know,
As we're walking along,
perspective is just different from the rest of the world, and it's hard when the rest of the world
Over there, notice that there's some wild strawberries growing?
is measuring you
You can see the
by
little green
your
plants,
stick.
like all the small red berries.
You know, I'm doing the best I can. I'm doing the best I can. You know. I like to feel like what's lacking in progress is sustainable. I mean, would you rather get in a space shuttle and have it blow up, or just float by in a beautiful balloon? I don't know. It's all just rationalizations in the. Yeah, but you know, the thing is that after every attempt, after every endeavor, after every creative venture, you know, it's never enough. You're always rolling it back in your mind, and you're replaying it back in your mental recording device, and you're thinking, I could have done this different. This could have had a better outcome. I could have gotten more from this if I did this. And it's always 20/20 hindsight. What you got to do is you got to just accept, you know, the ups and downs of each adventure on the fucking movie of your life, and use the information and this, you know, what you got from it in your mind and in your heart and soul to try to make the next one even better, or a little better, or whatever.
Man, he must be having a bad trip.
Right, so I've been on a boredom-killing mission today. Been running around the city, hit a couple of thrift stores. Also got a nice burrito for my dinner. But let's see, while I'm waiting for the train, let's see what I got here. Jason and the Argonauts, Ray Harryhausen. You probably know this already, but he's like the OG goat of stop motion monsters. It's a classic. Good old jazz.
by Ted Schaefer's Jelly Roll Jazz Band on the Merrymakers record label. It's like some Dixieland revival stuff. Okay, I got Hank Williams Jr. live at Cobo Hall, Detroit. Because why not? I was hanging out with a friend. We're listening to some Hank Jr. I'm like, man, this is good. You know, you're hard pressed to find any like psychedelic records in a thrift store, but I found this Country Joe and the Fish. That's kind of cool. I've talked about this guy before, a great underrated 50s saxophone player, Earl Bostic. I guess this is going to be a little more mellow than his like early rock and roll bluesy stuff. The soundtrack to Oh Lucky Man by Alan Price from The Animals. And if you've never seen this movie is absolutely bonkers. And it's 3 hours long. 1975 John Fogerty solo album. Let's see what else. Jane Morgan, The Day the Rains Came Down. And last but not least, Brandenburg Concertos. Box set. Bach set. Buck set. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's just fine. Come on, boys. Just one more time.